turns out it was everyone's favorite restaurant.
Breaking news. On the Montgomery Hill outbreak, apparently people have been getting sick on Montgomery Hills, and these restaurants could be the reason. So we sent our medical detectives to figure out which restaurant was the case of making people sick and what food it was and which toxin it was. What we did first was interview the patients. We specifically were looking for their symptoms, vital signs, and their neurological exam. We would then diagnose the patients with certain toxins depending on the results. Continuing from my secret lab, this is crucial to our work since we have to compare the patient's vital signs to the vital signs chart to see if their results were abnormal or not. Then need the symptoms that the patients have been experiencing to check if any of the toxins have symptoms that match what the patients have been experiencing. Using this data, we then would diagnose the patients with toxins or diseases so that we could find the main toxin that has been getting people sick.
What did you do?
During the patient interviews, we wrote down what they ate, where they ate, and took note if they experienced symptoms or not.
Why is this important?
This would help us in our study because knowing what they ate and where they ate would help us narrow down the food and the restaurant that is the main source of the outbreak. This shows how writing down what they ate or not is a very important part of finding the main source of the outbreak. This part, we wrote down what they ate and where they ate it, and we also wrote down if they were sick or not to allow us to find the source of the outbreak.
How did you find the solution?
First, we wrote down the meals from each restaurant, starting from breakfast through dinner, for each patient as well as where they ate that food item.
Why is this critical to our presentation?
This is critical because we must know what specific food item the patient ate is from, to know which restaurant has the most poisonous food items.
For this part, we wrote down the total amount of times this food item was eaten. After this, we made a list of all the food the sick people ate. With that list, we marked how many times that food item got people sick. With that information, we were able to set the formula for the food attack rate, allowing us to find the attack rate for that food item. It is important to know the attack rates of the food items so we can know what is the cause of the disease outbreak. For example, it will let us know that one food item is more toxic than another. This will allow us to track down the toxin and help prevent it from spreading more. As you can see here, we wrote how many people got sick from the pineapples, how many people ate those pineapples, and that led us to our attack rate for the food item.
What do you do?
Our group chose the toxin neurose. We chose this toxin because most of the patients that were infected had the same symptoms that neurose causes. For example, some of the symptoms were decreased respiratory rate, raised heart rate, and blood pressure, which the patients had.
Why is this important?
The reason why we chose it was because using the lab results, we saw if the patient was infected with toxin 1, which was neurose. If the patient was positive, the blue color, we marked that patient for having neurose. Some had different toxin or none at all. With this information, we ended up agreeing on it being toxin 1 because majority of patients had it. Okay. These are the lab results for toxin 1, and basically the blue means positive, meaning if they have it or not, and negative means they don't have the toxin. And these numbers represent the patients. So like patient 1 and patient 2. Basically, patient 3 did not have the toxin, so we would check the other results to see if they would have it. But seeing how patient 3 had none, patient 3 had no toxin.
Source of the disease/toxin was the chicken sandwich from Sparky's restaurant. We chose this source because it had the highest attack rate out of all of the restaurants. They had 70% attack rate, 7 out of 10, while the second highest was only 50%, 3 out of 6. We chose the chicken sandwich because it had a 70% attack rate, 8 out of 11. It was one of the highest specific food attack rates.
While there was food items with higher attack rates, we decided on not choosing them considering the majority of them had only few people who ate that item. For example, one person ate the waffle and they got sick from it, which would make the attack rate 100%. But that doesn't mean it's the cause of the outbreak because only one person ate it.
This is Channels Television's breaking news.
We are here to inform the public that Sparky's restaurant has been the main source of Montgomery Hill's outbreak. Their famous chicken sandwich was the cause. The chicken sandwich was getting people sick with a toxin called nervosi. This toxin causes dehydration, raises blood pressure, raises heart rate, decreases respiratory rate, impairs sensory neurons, and impairs some functions of the occipital lobe of the brain. Sparky's restaurant did its part, but sadly it has come to an end. We cannot risk any more people getting sick, plus we do not know the treatment for nervosi. Sparky's restaurant is officially closed and won't be opening anytime soon. Sincerely, your local medical detectives. We have breaking news on the Montgomery Hill outbreak. Turns out it was everyone's favorite restaurant, Sparky's. The chicken sandwich served at the establishment has been proven to be the main source of the recent outbreak that has made dozens of people sick. If you have recently ate there, please go see a doctor. Thank you and enjoy your day.